Hello art beaters, Becky here for artbeats.com, and I've got a brand new video for you today. Today I'm going to show you how to make the 2-hole bead pendant for our Wind Chime Necklace tutorial. This is a great project that incorporates Ginkgo beads, GemDuos, all kinds of fun 2-hole bead shapes, and I'm going to show you just how to put them all together. So let's dive in. This is our Wind Chime project. It is a 2-hole bead necklace tutorial featuring Ginkgo Leaf Beads, daggers, diamond duos or gem duos, SuperDuos, and even CzechMates Diamond Beads. And I'm going to show you how to make this today. So to get started, you do need some 2-hole dagger beads, diamond duos or gem duos, Ginkgo Leaf Beads, SuperDuos, and CzechMates Diamonds, as well as 8/0 round seed beads and 15/0 round seed beads. I am working with Toho seed beads in colors that match the 2-hole beads that I've picked out. You'll also need some beading thread. I have Miyuki beading thread in a color that matches my beads, and beading needles. I've got size 12 here. We are doing a double needle approach for this project, so you want about a 3 feet length of thread and add a beading needle to each end. You're going to start by adding a ginkgo bead with the curved side down, so bring one needle through one side and the other needle through the other side, and you're going to put that right at the very center of your thread. From there, you're going to add a gem duo to each side of the ginkgo, and you want to pay attention to how your gem duos are laying. When you add them, you want that domed side to be right side up every time because the other side is flat. So what I like to do is lay them in place and then approach the stringing hole with them laid in place, so I know that they will be facing the way I want, and we are going through the bottom stringing hole. I've got my left gem duo in place, going through the bottom stringing hole on this other one, and we've got the right gem duo in place. Now we are going to add 5 15/0 seed beads to one side of our thread. Got 4, 5, and bring it up through the top stringing hole of the same gem duo you're coming out of. And then you'll repeat that with the other gem duo. So pick up that other needle, pick up 5 15/0 seed beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Come through the top stringing hole of the same gem duo. And then just make sure your threads are on the right side. We're now adding this gem duo that's between these initial 2 gem duos. So we're laying it in place so we know we're approaching the hole the right way. We're going to take our left needle and come through it from the left side. Take our right hand needle and come through that bottom hole through the right side. That's kind of switch positions of our needles, and we're going to pull tight. And now that gem duo is in place. On each side, we're going to come back through that top stringing hole of the gem duo in the bottom row. So we're going to take the left side needle and go back through that left hole gem duo. Don't go through any of the seed beads, just the gem duo below the one you just added. And do the same with the right hand needle. Go through that top hole of the GemDuo on the right side, making sure not to go through any of the seed beads. And again, pull tight. To one side of the thread, you're going to add a 15-aught seed bead, an 8-aught seed bead, and a 15-aught seed bead. You're going to go ahead and do that on the other side of the thread as well. A 15-aught, an 8-aught, and a 15-aught. We're adding 2 GemDuos above the one we just added. So we're going to take our right hand side needle and go through the bottom hole of the first GemDuo. And come through the top of the GemDuo that's already in place. There we go. And then on this side, with the left hand needle, we're going to come through the bottom hole of this second GemDuo from the left side. And go through that GemDuo again. We're also going to go back through these stringing holes to switch the threads. So taking that right hand thread and going through that right hand GemDuo, taking the left hand thread and going through that left hand GemDuo. Pull tight. Make sure it's positioned nicely. Now we're going to jump up to the second stringing hole on each bead. Oops. And make sure you're using the corresponding thread. I almost jumped over to the wrong side, so this thread is coming out of the bottom of this GemDuo. Go through the top stringing hole of the same GemDuo. And do the same with the other thread on the other side of the project. So this thread is coming out of the bottom hole of this GemDuo, go through the top hole of the same GemDuo. Now we're adding another Ginkgo bead. So bring your left hand needle through the left hand side of the Ginkgo bead with the point down this time. Right hand needle through the right hand side of the Ginkgo bead. There we go. Now we're going to add a Ginkgo bead to each side. So go through the right hand side of a Ginkgo bead with the point down, and this is going to nest up on one side of the Ginkgo bead, like so. And then pick up another Ginkgo bead, go through the left side with the point down. And it will nest up on the other side of the previous Ginkgo bead. Now we want a GemDuo at the top of these Ginkgo beads. So I'm taking my right hand thread and going through to the left, and then taking my left hand thread and going through to the right, through the bottom hole. You want to make sure you go through the bottom hole. And then we will pull. And there we go. Now we're going to add 2 SuperDuo seed beads to each side. So our thread is coming out of that bottom GemDuo hole, so I'm adding 2 SuperDuos to my thread, and I'm going to come down through that right hand side ginkgo bead, that open side, the one we haven't gone through yet. And I'm going to do the same on the other side with the other needle and thread. So adding 2 SuperDuo beads. My thread has come off my needle, so we will rethread it. And through that open hole on the ginkgo bead on the other side. There we go. Now that we're coming out of the bottom of this ginkgo bead, I'm going to add a SuperDuo, a CzechMates Diamond, one of the flat diamond beads, and a SuperDuo. And we've got those added, and then we're going to come through that top hole of this adjacent GemDuo. And we'll do the same with the needle and thread on the other side. So add a SuperDuo, a flat CzechMates Diamond bead, and a SuperDuo. And then come through the top stringing hole of the GemDuo bead on this side. And it's starting to take shape. Now we're going to add the outside framing. So you're coming out of the top hole of this GemDuo bead. Take your right hand thread, the same thread coming out of this GemDuo bead, and jump down to the bottom stringing hole. From here, you're going to add a 15-aught seed bead, an 8-aught seed bead, and a 15-aught seed bead. And come through that top open stringing hole of the next SuperDuo up. Between the SuperDuo and the CzechMates Diamonds bead, you're going to add a 1 15-aught seed bead. Between the diamond bead and the SuperDuo bead, you are again going to add 1 15-aught seed bead and go through that top open stringing hole of the SuperDuo. And you will repeat that on the other side of your project with the left hand hole. So you're coming out of that hole at the top of the GemDuo, you're going to jump down to the bottom. Add a 15-aught seed bead, an 8-aught seed bead, and a 15-aught seed bead, and come through that top hole of the next closest SuperDuo, the top open hole of the next closest SuperDuo. Add a 15-aught seed bead, go through the top open hole of the diamond bead, the CzechMates Diamond. Add a 15-aught seed bead, go through the top open hole of the next SuperDuo. From here, on one side of your project, you're going to add 2 15-aught seed beads to your thread, an 8-aught seed bead, and 2 more 15-aught seed beads. You're going to skip over that ginkgo bead and go through the next open hole of the next SuperDuo over. Then you're going to add an 8-aught seed bead and go through that next SuperDuo over. Then add two 15-aught seed beads to your thread and come through that top hole of that top GemDuo. And then repeat on the other side of your project. So add two 15-aught seed beads to your thread, an 8-aught seed bead, two 15-aughts again, and this is the thread on your other side of your project. Skip over that Ginkgo bead and go through the next open hole of the next SuperDuo. Pick up an 8-aught, go through the next SuperDuo, pick up two 15-aughts, go through that top hole of that GemDuo bead. Now we're going to come down and start adding the little feathery daggers to the bottom. So with your thread that is now on the right side, you're going to go through all of these seed beads and top holes of the framing that you just created. So go down through these seed beads and top holes, all the way down, making sure you don't miss any of these little beads because you don't want to skip over and expose some of your threads. We wouldn't want that. And this is where the frame kind of all starts to connect. We've kind of added this frame in pieces, but here we're going to connect everything. You can see there's kind of a gap between these seed beads and these. I'm going to go through these seed beads below my GemDuo here. I can catch the bead. There we go, and that kind of cinches it up really nicely. And it'll get even more cinched as we go through the other side too. That's why I like working side by side, because it kind of keeps the project even. And then we're going to go through all of these seed beads, framing these GemDuos. Lovely, and then you're going to take your left-hand thread and do the same on the other side of the project until you're in the same position as that right-hand side that we just did. And that will get you in place to start adding the bottom row of daggers. Okay, so we're going to start by adding one flat CzechMates diamond bead to one side of our thread. And then we're going to add 4 of these dagger beads through the top stringing hole. There's 2 stringing holes and you want to use the top one. So add 1, 2, 3, 4, and what you're going to do here, we want this thread to come up through that left hand stringing hole of the bottom ginkgo. That's just going to give that little dagger section a little more structure doing it this way. So from here on this left hand thread, you're going to add a CzechMates diamond, and then 2 dagger beads from the top stringing hole. And then you're going to come back through. Let's pull tight this one. come back through almost all of the dagger beads except the last one. Kind of pull your thread so everything's falling into place. And then bring this thread up through the right hand side of that bottom ginkgo bead. So this makes sure that the dagger beads just aren't floating free. They're also attached to the ginkgo bead, and that gives the little fanned out look a little more structure, which is nice. And we'll also strengthen that up by going through the second stringing hole of the daggers, which I will show in just a second. Alright, so to get your threads into place to start going through the second stringing holes of those diamonds and daggers, you're going to we're going to start with our left hand side and bring our thread through that bottom stringing hole of the GemDuo on this side. And you might get caught up on all these daggers, but that's okay, just kind of fish your way out of it. And then we're going to come up through 2 of those little 15-aughts framing the GemDuo, just 2. 1, 2. From here, we're going to add a 15-aught seed bead to our thread, like so. Get it in place. And then we're going to come through that second stringing hole of the diamond, and then go through the second stringing holes of the daggers. Make sure you're going through the second stringing holes. This will also give your project nice structure. And remember, you can always go through these thread paths as many times as possible to strengthen and reinforce them and make them a little stiffer if you so desire. All right, and then you do that on the other side. So we've got our right hand thread. We're going to go through that bottom hole of the right hand GemDuo. Come up through just 2 of those 15-aught seed beads framing the GemDuo. 1, 2. Add an 8-aught seed bead to our thread. Come through that second stringing hole of the diamond, the CzechMates diamond. Come through the second stringing hole of all of the daggers that we have here. There we go. And already that's given it really nice structure. So all that's left to do, we're going to go through all of these beads all the way up to the top and add our loop. So I'm coming out of, on the right hand side, I'm coming out of that second hole of the dagger. I'm going to go through the second hole of the CzechMates diamond and that 8-aught seed bead. And then I'm going to go up through the seed beads that I didn't go through yet, framing the GemDuo. So the last 3 seed beads, and then through all the rest of the seed beads and second stringing holes of the frame until I get back up to the top. So kind of just following the thread path that we've already established. And you can see that as I'm going up through these beads, the project is getting a little more stronger, more reinforced, which is good. There we go. And I'm going to stop just before the GemDuo hole. So I want to be coming out of the last 15-aught seed bead on this side. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side of my project with the right hand thread. So coming out of that second hole of the dagger on this side, we're going to go through the second hole of the CzechMates Diamond and that 8-aught seed bead. Then we're going to come through those 3 seed beads in this GemDuo frame that we did not go through, getting down to these daggers. Then coming through the rest of the seed beads in this frame that we've created here. This side always likes to get undone from my needle. So we will end this side on the same last seed bead as we did on the other side. Okay, now all that's left to do is add a seed bead loop. You can make this loop as small or as large as you need. For mine, I added about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 seed beads to the loop. And you can add all 12 to one side and then go through the same seed beads with the other, add 6 to each side, and then cross through the 6 seed beads on each side. I'm just going to add 12 15-aught seed beads to one side of my thread and then bring my thread through the other side and repeat. So let's see, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We need... Let's do a loop of 10 for these. Like I said, you can adjust the size of the seed bead loop depending on what you're attaching to. So I added 10 seed beads to this side. I'm just going to go back through those 2 seed beads on the other side. And then to reinforce the loop, you can bring your thread from this side through the same seed beads you just added, and that'll strengthen your loop. And you can go through all the beads again and reinforce as you see fit, and then finish off your threads. There we go, we've got a loop at the top of this one. And our piece is done, and it looks like a cute little mermaid tail almost. I think you could do these in magical mermaid colors. And I've got 2 here. I just need to add a loop to this one. These would make really cute earrings too, in addition to the necklace pendant that we created. So super fun little project with a variety of 2-hole beads to kind of get you used to those shapes and how they fit together. So fun. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that video was helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions or what you'd like to see next. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. And as always, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell so you get notified every time we release a new video. Thank you again so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.